on this for a few months. Let me move this out of the way. So I originally got the idea to make this when one of my friends was getting rid of all their Legos and they gave them to me, and one of them.
Cooper?
Yes.
Because you kind of showed us your build a little bit. Just make sure you're pointing, like looking at the camera. It's okay if we can't see you, but it's your voice. We're not able to hear your voice. So just make sure you're looking at the screen that you're talking to.
Okay. Sorry about that. So I originally got the idea to make this when one of my friends gave me basically all their Legos, and one of the sets that they had completely built was that Mech that I took a decent amount of inspiration from, especially with the legs and torso. So I decided to call this the Deathbringer, mostly because it is also based off of a robot from a game called Horizon Zero Dawn. And in that game there's something called the Deathbringer that has sort of a similar shape. So I was originally going to take this top part off, but due to when I tried to take it off earlier, part of it broke, so I'm probably going to save that for the end. So the cool functions of this is this lifts up, and inside there's some of those spring-loaded shooters. It's kind of hard to see, and I don't really want to fire them at the computer.
It's okay.
Never mind, I did anyway. So this also has the ability to turn 360 degrees. These things on its side can move up and down on each side independently. Something fell off. I'll deal with that later. There's also a little turret on top with while it doesn't really have any actual shooting functions, it can spin around. These can move up and down a bit, though causing strain on the turrets. Another cool thing is this can actually lift off, and inside, inside there's a few like mechanical looking wires and stuff. While the legs themselves can't really move too much, yeah, they can't really move too much, but the things on the side, they're like these little engine sort of things, can move up and down. It also has two stud shooters on the bottom for playability. And there's also a few turrets on the top which can move around. The weapon stuff can move up and down. So to compare a size comparison to a minifigure, I have a minifigure here. I call him the Mechromancer, as I like to believe he's the one in control of the robot. Oh yeah, these can also move a tiny bit, while it's kind of hard to see as I use my fingers to move them. Now I'm going to attempt to try to take this top part off so I can show the legs and all that. Oh, it actually worked a lot better than it usually does. now I can give a better view of this. For the color scheme, I went for gray, silver, and a dark green. Here we have the area where you could fire items. On the back, we have a little area where you can fire those. We have some grills here. I don't think that's what those pieces are called, but we got 2 little stabilizer canisters here. And now for the legs. The legs of this mech are probably what I feel most proud of. You can take them out fairly easily. So I'm gonna do that so you guys could get a better view. So you slide this in here, and then using one of these cross axles, you can just put it back in that way. This leg is made up of a few different combination of different ways to build the thing. So by taking this off, you can see that it's normal studs like that, and the leg here using a lot of, I don't want to say they're called snot bricks. I can't remember what these are called. By using that, you can, that's how I managed to get this to work on its side. We also have this little foot thing that you can move just a tiny bit. You got these little red canisters were added pretty late in the thing. And overall, I just really like how I made the leg. I can show you here that in order for this to be attached, there's one of these and one of these. This part goes in right underneath the red canister, while the other part goes right here. And by putting it back together, you get the whole leg. Another part I really like is underneath the mech. We have this. What I did was, I've seen this sort of strategy used a few times before, but these are made up of individual things looking like this. The 4 of them together make this circular sort of pattern. Dropping pieces. And it gives it that sort of circular disc shape that I was going for. And overall, it's just, I don't really know what else to say about it. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask, and I'll answer them the best I can.
It looks good, Cooper. Can you show us a little bit more of the top? Kind of put that up in front of the camera again?
Yeah.
You have a lot of artillery going on there.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for. So here we have the top again. Is there any specific part you would specifically like to see?
So you have a mixture of like the shooters.
Yeah.
And then what? On the back, I recognize a few Technic parts that I haven't seen used on much. So, yeah, I like those as grills. That's a good technique. I like that.
Yeah, I thought it worked fine as well. When I made this, I didn't know whether or not if they really worked very well. So I'm glad to know that you guys enjoy their usage.
Yeah, it gives it some texture in the back, so it just kind of a little bit. I like the mix of smooth and studs and grill and everything mixed together. That works out pretty good.
Yeah. Overall, I don't know if I said, but I spent like a few months on this. The legs were probably the hardest part. Mostly because I was building this one day and then the legs just fell apart and completely broke. So I had to completely restart the legs. And that was not fun.
Got through to the middle of it and then had to make some changes just because of how much, probably just because of the weight, right? The size got bigger.
Yeah, even still, the legs themselves can't fully support the weight of the top. So that's why I had this little thing in the middle of the bottom to help keep it standing. Along with that, I made... Oh yeah, I should probably show this. This is one of the top artillery pieces that goes on the top. Has a nice little red eye sort of thing here. And here, I'll take the turret off so I can show you some of the cool wiring mechanic stuff going on there.
Yeah, a ton of rebling in there.
Yeah. I have, and I also had a few, usually I specialize in building minifigures, so I thought it might be fun to show a few of those off that I felt went with the set. Here we have, well, I haven't really named him. He's one of the more recent characters I made. I based him off of the new War Machine minifigure in the helicarrier that I don't have. Using one of those Overwatch blaster pieces I made and some roller skates, I managed to make a pretty nice looking side gun. And using more roller skates, I made sort of like a missile launcher. And
Are those roller skates on them too?
yeah.
That looks good.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would really like to use the roller skate elements.
Yeah,
Very nice.
So those are my becoming my favorite, one of my favorite new pieces. I think just because they're more versatile than you'd think.
Yeah, they really are.
You get a few of the gold ones in the roller coaster. I'm like, this is the best part of this set.
Yeah. This is one character that I really like. She has some sort of almost like plasma cannons on her, and she has sort of the same sort of flame trooper pack on her back. Using the whip pieces, I managed to make some like wires going to her weapons, and using some of those studs with the holes in them right there, I managed to make it so it holds the wire in place so that it's the shape that I wanted. I also really liked the use of Tracer's face for...
It looks good. Do you have any idea where that head is from? I recognize it, but I can't tell where it came from.
Oh, this face print is Tracer from Overwatch.
Very cool.
And
like a mix of monster fighter turns mech warrior.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, thank you. I didn't see any hands raised in the room, but Cooper, appreciate you taking us through your build and showing us kind of what you've been working on.
No problem.
Well, hang out. We're going to go ahead and we'll head on over to the next one. Again, if you have any questions or you want to see a particular part of any of the builds, just put a comment in there or raise your hand and we will get to you. But our next presenter is Kevin. Kevin, how are you doing, sir?